Every dawn you make silent pacts with yourself, vows of change, of freedom. But these are not born of hope. They are shields against a darker truth, the fear that you are unworthy of your own liberation. I will start tomorrow. This is the most dangerous lie you tell yourself. It is not a plan. It is a prison. A beautifully decorated cell where you are both the warden and the prisoner. You bargain with a future self you imagine will be stronger, wiser, more deserving. But this future self is a ghost, a mirage that keeps you walking in circles. Each broken promise is a quiet act of self-betrayal, a confirmation of that deepest fear. I am not enough. And with each betrayal, the chains grow heavier. Look closely at these promises. They are not bridges to freedom. They are walls. Walls you build to avoid facing the terrifying emptiness of your own potential. The moment you promise, you have already failed. Because the need for a promise means you believe you are not already whole. You see yourself as a project, not a person. These false pacts are your armor against the vulnerability of actually trying. Because if you never truly try, you can never truly fail, or so the lie goes. You have become a master of self-deception. You dress your fear in the language of patience. You call your stagnation preparation, but deep down, you know the truth. There's a strange comfort in these cycles. The comfort of familiarity. The comfort of knowing exactly how tomorrow will feel, the same as today, like predictable, dead. Your promises are not for you. They are performances for an audience in your mind, an audience of ghosts from your past who told you weren't good enough. You think you're making promises to your future self, but you are making them to your past, trying to prove something to those who are no longer watching. The weight of these unkept vows accumulates. It becomes a mountain on your chest, a mountain made of every tomorrow you never lived. You search for motivation, for inspiration, for the perfect moment, but these are just more layers of the illusion. The only moment is now. The only power is choice. This is the anatomy of your silent treason. It happens not in grand gestures, but in these quiet moments of postponed living. The first step to freedom is not a new promise. It is the brutal, unforgiving examination of this pattern, to see the chains before you can break them. Let us travel back to the origin of this betrayal, to the first time you learned you were not enough. It might have been a word, a glance, a silence. A seed planted in the fertile soil of a young mind, a seed that grew into a forest of doubt. You were taught to measure your worth by external standards, grades, applause, likes, approvals. You learned to seek validation outside yourself. The child who was told to be quiet learned their voice didn't matter. The child who was never praised learned their efforts were worthless. These lessons became core beliefs. You internalized the critic, the voice of the parent, the teacher, the bully. You made it your own. Now you don't need them to criticize you. You do it better yourself. This is the great tragedy. You have become the primary enforcer of your own imprisonment. You guard the cage from the inside. Your self-betrayal is a learned survival mechanism, a way to avoid punishment, rejection, or disappointment. A way to stay small and safe. But you are no longer that child. The danger is gone. Yet, you still follow the old rules. Rules written for a war that ended long ago. The belief in your own unworthiness is a ghost, a phantom limb of the soul. It feels real, but it has no substance, no truth. You keep betraying yourself because part of you still believes the old story. The story that you are flawed, broken, unworthy of love and freedom. This core wound creates a pattern, a loop. You seek evidence to confirm your unworthiness. You create situations that prove the old story right. Your relationships, your career, your habits all reflect this deep-seated belief. You are living a prophecy written by a child in pain. To break the cycle, you must meet that child, the one who first decided they were not enough. You must bring them the truth they never heard. The truth is, you were always worthy. You were born worthy. No action, no achievement, no failure can change that fundamental fact. Your worth is not something to be earned. It is your birthright, the very air your soul breathes. To believe otherwise is the root of all self-betrayal. Now we meet the architect of your prison, the voice in your head that narrates It speaks in your own tone, with your own cadence. It is so familiar you mistake it for your own thoughts, but it is not you. This inner critic has a simple job: to keep you small, predictable, and controlled, to prevent you from risking failure, rejection, or the unknown. It uses the language of protection. I'm keeping you safe, it whispers. I'm preventing you from getting hurt. But its safety is a slow death. Listen to its words. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? You'll just fail again. These are not truths. They are programs, old software running on autopilot. This warden is not a monster. It is a misguided guardian, a part of you that believes it is helping by keeping you in familiar pain. Its power depends on one thing: your belief. The moment you see it for what it is, a conditioned response, not a prophecy, its power weakens. You have been in a conversation with this voice for so long, you forgot you can stop listening. You can disagree. You can fire the warden. The prison is not built of stone and steel. It is built of thoughts, of repetitive, unconscious, self-diminishing thoughts. Every time you obey the critic, you reinforce the walls. Every time you hesitate out of fear, you add another bar to your cell. This voice thrives in ambiguity and isolation. When you bring it into the light, when you name it, its shadowy power dissolves. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the silent witness that can observe the critic without becoming it. The moment you separate from the warden, a space opens up, a gap. In that gap, true choice is born, the choice to act differently. This is not a war to be fought. It is a presence to be cultivated. The presence that can hold the fearful voice with compassion, but not obey it. The goal is not to silence the critic forever. The goal is to recognize its voice, thank it for its misguided concern, and then do the thing anyway. The final betrayal ends not with a new promise, but with a profound acceptance. An acceptance of the very part of you that believes you are unworthy. This is the ultimate paradox. You must make peace with the traitor within, the part of you that sabotages, doubts, and fears. This is your shadow, not an enemy to be defeated, but a lost child to be integrated. It holds pain, yes, but also immense power. Your shadow believes you are unworthy because it itself has never felt worthy. It carries the original wound. It needs compassion, not exile. When you try to kill your shadow, you only make it stronger. It fights for its life, but when you embrace it, it relaxes. Its energy transforms. Look your shadow in the eye. Say, I see you, I feel your fear. You are a part of me, and I will not abandon you anymore. This is the real pact. Not a promise to change, but a vow of wholeness. A commitment to embrace all of who you are, especially the broken parts. In this embrace, an alchemy occurs. The energy once used for self-rejection becomes fuel for self-compassion. The guard finally leaves its post. The chains were not made of metal. They were made of unresolved pain. When you turn toward that pain with love, the chains simply dissolve. Freedom is not a destination you reach after fixing yourself. It is a relationship you cultivate with yourself in this very moment. Stop trying to become worthy. Realize you already are. Every act from this realization is not a performance, but an expression of your true nature. The last treason ends when you stop betraying the present moment for a future that never comes. When you stop abandoning yourself. From this day, let your only vow be this: I will no longer betray my own presence. I will show up for my life, here, now, as I am. This is not a passive acceptance of stagnation. It is the most active state of being. It takes immense courage to be fully present with yourself. The war is over. The treason has ceased. You are finally, completely home. Not as a perfect being, but as a whole one. Now, live.